Alright, what's going on, guys? Today I'll be breaking down my lineup for the NBA slate on Thursday, January 26th. We've only got 4 games on this slate, so our options are kind of limited. But anyway, let's just go ahead and get right into it. Alright, starting off at point guard, I'm not paying up for Russell Westbrook on this slate. He's still too overpriced in my opinion, and he has a down and pace matchup against Dallas. Dallas does play at a slow pace, so I'm not really going to look for Westbrook in this slate, even though I do think if you want to play him, I mean, that's your choice. It is a 4-game slate, so there is risk if you do not play him, but I'm going to take the guy right under him and go with Eric Bledsoe. This is a great matchup for Bledsoe. He gets up in pace against Denver. Bledsoe is still underpriced in my opinion based on his recent production. If you look at his last 5 games, he's played over 30 minutes. He did have a down game 2 days ago against Minnesota, but before that, he was really crushing. Had 56 against Utah, 47 against Cleveland, 42 against the Knicks, and put up 64 against the Raptors. Like I said, this is a great matchup. Denver does not guard point guards well, and they play up in pace. So I really like Bledsoe tonight. He's still underpriced in my opinion. They can get you upwards of 40 to 50 fantasy points in this matchup. Alright, at shooting guard, I can already see there isn't much worth paying up for. The most expensive shooting guard is Devin Booker, so that just shows you that there isn't many intriguing shooting guard options out there. There is one guy that I like though, and that is Zach LaVine. Tom Thibodeau runs this guy into the ground when it comes to minutes. He averages 37 minutes a game. He's almost a lock for 30 plus minutes every time he touches the floor. He has been struggling lately, but when you get a guy that's playing over 30 to 40 minutes a night, this is a good matchup against Indiana. The Pacers also play up in pace, and they don't guard the shooting guard position well. I feel like this is a matchup where LaVine can bounce back in an up-and-pace matchup where he plays over 30 to 40 minutes. Definitely like LaVine tonight for cash games. He's always a guy I like to lock in for cash games just because he plays so many minutes. So yeah, I think LaVine's a great option. They can get you at least 30 fantasy points in this matchup against Indiana. Alright, at guard, we're going to go for more mid-range and take George Hill. Hill gets a great matchup against the Lakers. The Lakers are terrible defensively, and they play up in pace. Hill is also locked in when it comes to minutes. He'll play at least 30 minutes a night. Like I said, the Lakers are bad defensively, so this is definitely a matchup Hill can take advantage of. The only thing I would worry about maybe would be a blowout because this game is in Utah, and the Lakers do struggle on the road. But if this game is close and Hill plays his 30 minutes like I'm expecting him to, he definitely can put up at least 30 fantasy points in this matchup, and he should be able to exceed value. So definitely like Hill tonight for guard position. Alright, at small forward, I'm going to take George Hill's teammate and go with Gordon Hayward. Like I said, the Lakers play up in pace, and they are bad defensively all around. They can't guard any position. This is definitely a matchup Hayward should exceed in. He has been struggling lately, but I believe this is definitely a matchup he can bounce back in. Like I said, Lakers play bad defense. They play up in pace. Hayward will play at least 30 minutes. I believe this game should be somewhat close, so I think Hayward's going to be out there for his full run. So definitely like him also. I think him and George Hill should be able to crush in this matchup. Alright, at power forward, I'm taking Thaddeus Young. Young gets a pretty solid matchup against the Timberwolves. The Timberwolves do play up in pace, and Gorgie Jang is not really known for his defense. He's not a great defender, and this guy's minutes have started to trend in the right direction. Earlier in the year, his minutes were kind of up and down, but he's been locked in lately when it comes to minutes. He's played at least 30 minutes in 4 of his last 5 games, and with those minutes, he's got 35, 23, 35, 34, and 20 fantasy points. He's still relatively cheap at just $23 on Yahoo. I definitely think this is a matchup where he can get you at least 30 fantasy points. It should be great for cash games should it be able to exceed value. Alright, at forward, I'm going to take Danilo Gallinari. Gallo gets a pretty solid matchup against the Suns. The Suns don't guard the forward well, and they play at a very high pace. This should be a very high scoring game, and those are usually the games that Gallo exceeds in. Most of his fantasy points will come from scoring, but he will get you some peripherals. He's locked in when it comes to minutes. He'll play at least 30 minutes. In his last 5 games, he's put up 25, 31, 26, 27, and 20 fantasy points. He's still only $21 on Yahoo, which is very cheap for what he's been doing. He's been consistent, and this is definitely a matchup he can exceed in. So definitely like Gallo tonight. They can get you at least 25 fantasy points in this matchup against the Suns. Alright, at center, I'm going to take a guy who's still very underpriced and go with Tyson Chandler. Chandler's just way too cheap based on his recent production. He gets a pretty solid matchup against the Nuggets. The Nuggets don't play much defense, and they do play up in pace. If you just look at Chandler's recent production, he has actually been crushing it lately, and his price has not gone up. He's playing at least 30 minutes a night, and he's doing a lot with those minutes. In his last 5 games, he's put up 27, 43, 30, 29, and 46 fantasy points. And at only $17, he provides great value on Yahoo. He should at least be able to get 30 fantasy points in this matchup. And that is definitely good for a $17 price tag. So definitely like Chandler tonight for some value. Think he's way too cheap and should be able to dominate in this matchup. Finally, at my utility spot, I'm going to go with Steven Adams. This isn't a terrific matchup for Adams. Dallas does guard the center well. Andrew Bogut is a pretty good defender. But Adams just has been pretty consistent this year. After returning from his injury, he's managed to put up 23 and 39 fantasy points. And the one game he put up 23 was against Utah with Rudy Gobert. And Gobert is a great defender, so I can see why he struggled against Gobert. And yesterday he put up 39 against the Pelicans. He's also locked in when it comes to minutes. He'll play at least 30 minutes a night. The only thing I worry about is the pace of this game. Dallas does play at a very slow pace, but this game isn't Oklahoma City, so the Thunder should be able to control the pace. So definitely like Adams tonight. Think he'll get you at least a double-double in this matchup. Should be able to exceed value at just a $19 price tag. Alright guys, so this is going to be my NBA lineup for Thursday, January 26th. Be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I really appreciate it, guys. If you have any questions, be sure to comment them and I'll answer them. But anyway, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in tomorrow's video. Peace, guys.
I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. Never meant to make your daughter cry. I apologize a trillion times. I'm sorry, Miss Jackson.